I'd like to start by playing a little game with all of you guys. I'll think of a tool, and you try to guess what tool I'm thinking of. I'll give you 2 hints. Your first hint is that it can cause injuries. No guesses? Your second hint is that you can use it to attach 2 pieces of wood together with a nail. And now I hear people getting it. And I'm guessing you liked the second hint a lot more than you liked the first. And that's because it's really easy to understand a tool when you know what its main purpose is, and really hard when you only know what happens when something goes wrong. But when we study the tools that your body uses to build your brain, and by that I mean the genes and proteins that keep all of your brain cells working, we're often faced with situations where we don't know the actual function of the genes we're studying, because so many genes are only discovered once something goes wrong and leads to a disease. And to understand those genetic diseases and hopefully treat them, we need to understand what the genes should be doing. And to do that, we need to sometimes change our perspective a little bit. My research is bringing that new perspective to a deadly genetic disease called spinocerebellar ataxia. And this disease is caused by a mutation in a gene called ataxin-1, which kills cells in the cerebellum, which is involved in movement, and in the brainstem, which is involved in breathing. And this slowly robs people of their ability to move and eventually leads to death. But just as a hammer can have different effects depending on what you hit it with, ataxin-1 can have different effects depending on where in the brain you look. The disease is only what happens when something goes wrong. So it actually turns out that ataxin-1 may be instrumental in helping to create new neurons over in the hippocampus, which is involved in learning and memory, which means that ataxin-1's normal role may have something to do with cellular development and, by extension, cognition. For my thesis, I'm looking at how ataxin-1 helps those new neurons grow to help us build up a bigger picture of what this gene is supposed to be doing in the healthy brain. And if we can understand that new role for ataxin-1, then we'll gain a new understanding of things like memory loss and cognition and neural development, in addition to gaining new insight into how neurons die in other brain regions in a disease that so far doesn't have a cure. Thank you.